Imagine sitting beside a loved one who once filled the room with laughter, now spending most of their days in deep sleep, barely able to stay awake. Their hands, once strong and steady, now rest weakly at their side. Conversations grow shorter, their energy fades, and an unspoken stillness begins to settle around them. Is this just old age? Or is it a sign that their time is drawing near? Too often we miss the subtle warnings that an elderly person may be in their final year until it's too late. But what if we could recognize these signs, embrace this sacred transition, and offer them the peace, love, and faith they need in their final moments? Life is a journey filled with seasons, and just as spring turns into summer and summer into fall, so too does our time on this earth eventually near its closing chapter. For those with aging loved ones, recognizing the subtle signs of life's final season can be a sacred responsibility, a chance to offer comfort, understanding, and spiritual peace. While no one knows the exact moment a soul will transition from this life to the next, there are often warning signs that should not be ignored. If you have an elderly parent, grandparent, or friend, pay close attention to these 5 signs that may indicate they are in their final year. When an elderly person enters their final year of life, one of the most noticeable changes is a drastic physical decline. The body, which has carried them through decades of life's joys and hardships, begins to weaken significantly. One of the most visible signs is unexplained weight loss, which can be caused by a combination of factors such as reduced appetite, difficulty swallowing, or the body's decreased ability to absorb nutrients. As the body slows down, muscles begin to deteriorate, making even simple movements a challenge. A once active person may struggle to get out of bed, walk short distances, or even hold objects with the same strength they once had. This weakness is not just physical. It affects their ability to engage in daily activities, leading to further isolation and dependence on others. Fatigue becomes a constant companion. Unlike the tiredness that comes from a long day of work, this exhaustion is deep and persistent. The body lacks the energy to perform even basic tasks, and an elderly person may find themselves needing to rest after only a few minutes of activity. This is a key sign that their body is beginning to conserve energy as it prepares for the final transition. The heart, lungs, and other vital organs are not functioning at full capacity, causing circulation issues, dizziness, and an overall sense of weakness. This is why elderly individuals nearing the end of life often spend more time sitting or lying down, as standing for extended periods can lead to faintness or imbalance. Another major indicator of physical decline is the skin and its appearance. The skin may become thinner, bruising more easily, and wounds may take longer to heal. Poor circulation can cause their hands and feet to feel cold even in warm temperatures. Some may experience swelling in their legs and feet, a result of the body's inability to properly circulate fluids. This can be a warning sign of heart or kidney failure, both of which are common in the final stages of life. Additionally, the face may appear more sunken due to muscle loss, and their eyes may seem dull or unfocused at times. Loss of appetite is another critical factor. As the body prepares for the end of life, the digestive system slows down significantly. The desire for food diminishes, and elderly individuals may begin to eat much less than usual. Foods they once enjoyed no longer appeal to them, and forcing them to eat can cause discomfort or nausea. Hydration also becomes an issue, as they may drink less water, leading to dehydration. This is why caregivers and family members must pay close attention to their loved ones' eating habits and ensure they are receiving adequate nourishment, even in smaller amounts. One of the most heartbreaking aspects of this physical decline is the loss of independence. A person who once prided themselves on self-sufficiency may now require assistance with basic tasks such as bathing, dressing, and using the restroom. This can be a difficult adjustment not only for the elderly individual but also for their caregivers. Feelings of frustration, embarrassment, and sadness can arise as they come to terms with their increasing reliance on others. It is important for family members to approach this stage with patience, love, and dignity, offering support without making them feel like a burden. In the midst of this decline, many elderly individuals begin to reflect on their life and seek comfort in their faith. They may spend more time in prayer, reading the Bible, or talking about spiritual matters. For Christian believers, this period is a time of preparation as they draw closer to God and find peace in His promises. Isaiah 40:31 reminds us, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." This verse offers encouragement to both the elderly and their loved ones, reminding them that even in their physical weakness, their spirit can find renewal through faith in God. As their body weakens, breathing patterns may also change. Some may experience shortness of breath even when resting, while others develop irregular breathing patterns. This is often a sign that their heart and lungs are working harder to sustain the body. In some cases, they may develop a condition known as Cheyne-Stokes breathing, where their breath alternates between deep and shallow patterns, sometimes pausing altogether for a few seconds before resuming. This can be alarming for family members, but it is a natural part of the body's transition. Ensuring that they are comfortable, positioned properly, and have access to fresh air can help ease this symptom. Pain is another concern in the final year of life. Whether due to chronic conditions such as arthritis, organ failure, or undiagnosed illnesses, physical discomfort can become a daily struggle. Some may experience joint pain, headaches, or general body aches, while others may have difficulty expressing their pain, especially if they have cognitive decline such as dementia. This is where pain management becomes crucial. Medical professionals often recommend medications to ease discomfort, and alternative therapies such as massage, warm baths, or even gentle stretching exercises can provide relief. Beyond the physical symptoms, this stage of life is often marked by a deep emotional and spiritual shift. Many elderly individuals, sensing that their time on earth is drawing to a close, begin to focus more on their relationships, seeking reconciliation with family members and making peace with any unresolved conflicts. It is a sacred time, a moment for forgiveness, love, and understanding. For Christians, John 14:27 provides reassurance. "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid." These words remind us that while the body may fail, the soul is in the hands of God, and there is no need to fear what lies ahead. Recognizing these signs of physical decline is crucial for providing the best care and emotional support during this final season of life. Rather than seeing this as a time of loss, it should be viewed as a time of honoring and cherishing every remaining moment with our loved ones. Their bodies may weaken, but their spirit remains strong, and as they prepare for their eternal home, our role is to walk with them, comfort them, and remind them that they are loved, valued, and never alone. When an elderly person nears the final stages of life, one of the most heartbreaking yet significant changes is their withdrawal from life's daily joys. This shift can be gradual or sudden, but it often signals that they are preparing for the transition from this world. Those who were once engaged in conversations, social activities, and personal hobbies may suddenly show little to no interest in them. The things that once brought them happiness, whether it was gardening, reading, listening to music, or spending time with family, no longer seem to hold their attention. This loss of interest is often misunderstood by loved ones who may interpret it as depression or sadness. While these emotions can play a role, this withdrawal is often a natural part of the body and spirit preparing for the final journey. One of the first noticeable changes is their disengagement from conversations. Where they once enjoyed sharing stories, asking about loved ones, or discussing current events, they now respond with short answers or seem uninterested in talking at all. They may sit silently for long periods, lost in thought, or appear as if they are in another world entirely. This detachment can be difficult for family members, as it may feel like their loved one is slowly slipping away emotionally before the physical departure even happens. Some elderly individuals may even start avoiding visits from friends and relatives, not because they do not care, but because social interaction becomes exhausting. The effort it takes to engage, respond, and participate in conversations can feel overwhelming as their body weakens. Another key sign of withdrawal is a loss of appetite. Food is one of life's simplest pleasures, but as the body begins to slow down, the desire for nourishment diminishes. They may begin skipping meals, refusing their favorite foods, or eating only a few bites before pushing their plate away. Loved ones often try to encourage eating by preparing special meals or urging them to consume more, but it is important to understand that their body no longer processes food the way it once did. The digestive system starts to slow down, making it harder for them to break down and absorb nutrients. Eating can become more of a burden than a joy, and forcing food can cause discomfort rather than nourishment. Dehydration may also become a concern, as they may forget to drink water or simply no longer feel thirsty. Sleep patterns also change during this period of withdrawal. An elderly person may begin sleeping much more than usual, spending long hours resting during the day and sleeping through the night. This is not just due to physical fatigue, but is also a sign that their body is conserving energy. The more time they spend in bed, the less engaged they are with the world around them. This increase in sleep is often accompanied by vivid dreams or even moments where they speak about seeing loved ones who have already passed away. Many Christian believers see this as a sign that their spirit is becoming more in tune with the eternal realm. It is not uncommon for those nearing the end of life to speak of heavenly visions, sensing God's presence or expressing a deep longing for home. Ecclesiastes 3:01 reminds us, "To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven." This withdrawal is part of that season, a time when the soul begins to prepare for what is to come. Emotional changes also accompany this stage. Some elderly individuals become more reflective, speaking about their past, regrets, and accomplishments. Others become more inwardly focused, not wanting to talk much at all. They may seem indifferent to things that once mattered greatly, such as special family events, birthdays, or holidays. It is not that they do not care, but rather that their priorities have shifted. The material aspects of life begin to fade in importance, and they become more focused on matters of the heart and spirit. They may express a desire to make peace with others, offering apologies or seeking forgiveness for past mistakes. This is a deeply spiritual time, as they begin to let go of earthly attachments and prepare for their final journey. For Christian believers, this stage of life is a time of surrender. Many elderly individuals find great comfort in prayer, scripture, and worship. Even if they are too weak to attend church, they may ask for someone to read the Bible to them or listen to hymns that bring them peace. Some begin to speak about eternity with a sense of certainty, as if they already have one foot in heaven. This is a sacred time for both the individual and their family. As loved ones, it is important to encourage and reassure them that they are not alone, that their faith is leading them home, and that God is with them. In John 14:02-3, Jesus says, "In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you to myself, that where I am, there you may be also." These words bring comfort to those who are transitioning, offering the promise that they are not leaving, but merely moving on to a better place. Another sign of withdrawal is their lack of concern for personal care. A person who once took pride in their appearance may no longer care about dressing nicely, brushing their hair, or even taking regular baths. This is not a sign of neglect, but rather an indication that their focus is no longer on the physical aspects of life. They may feel too tired to go through the routine of getting ready, or simply no longer see the point. Family members must approach this stage with patience and understanding, offering gentle assistance while respecting their loved one's dignity. As the days progress, the withdrawal deepens. They may spend long periods staring out of a window, lost in thought, or quietly listening to music or scripture without reacting much. Some may experience moments of deep clarity, where they suddenly become alert and speak with wisdom or offer final words of encouragement to their family. Others may gradually become less responsive, slipping further into a state of peaceful detachment. This process looks different for everyone, but the underlying theme remains the same. Their soul is preparing to leave this world behind. Understanding this stage of withdrawal allows loved ones to respond with love rather than fear. It is a time for presence rather than pressure, for listening rather than insisting, and for offering peace rather than trying to hold on. Recognizing these signs does not mean giving up, but rather embracing this sacred transition with faith, grace, and love. When an elderly person nears the final stages of life, one of the most significant changes that occur is an increase in sleep and a drastic decrease in energy. This is not the same as normal fatigue that comes with aging. Rather, it is a profound exhaustion that signals the body is slowly shutting down. The human body in its final year begins to conserve energy in a way that is different from anything seen before. Tasks that were once simple, such as walking to the kitchen, sitting in a chair, or even speaking for long periods, become difficult and overwhelming. The person may spend most of the day resting, unable to stay awake for extended periods, and their sleep cycles become longer. Loved ones may notice that their elderly family member starts sleeping through most of the day, waking only for short moments and then drifting back into rest. This is because the body no longer needs as much energy as it once did. As organs begin to slow down, metabolism decreases, and the need for food and water lessens. Without as much energy being produced, the person simply does not have the strength to stay awake as often. This process is not necessarily painful, but it can be confusing and even concerning for family members who are used to their loved one being more alert and engaged. One of the most telling signs of this stage is that even when awake, the elderly individual may appear extremely tired. Their eyes may open, but they do not seem fully present. Their speech might be slow and slurred, or they may only be able to respond with a few words before becoming too exhausted to continue the conversation. Holding a long conversation requires energy, and as the body prepares for its final journey, it begins prioritizing where that energy goes. This is why talking becomes less frequent, and instead, they may communicate through nods, hand squeezes, or small gestures, rather than full sentences. For those watching this process, it can be difficult to accept. Family members may try to encourage their loved one to stay awake longer, engage in conversations, or eat more to give them energy, but in reality, this is a natural process that cannot be reversed. The body is no longer trying to sustain itself for the long term. Rather, it is slowly winding down. Instead of urging them to stay awake, it is important to create a peaceful environment where they can rest comfortably. This means adjusting the lighting, keeping their surroundings quiet, and ensuring they are in a comfortable position so their sleep is restful rather than disturbed. This increase in sleep is also often accompanied by vivid dreams or moments where the person seems to be somewhere else. Many elderly individuals in their final stages speak about seeing loved ones who have already passed, hearing music that no one else hears, or feeling a sense of peace that they cannot explain. This is not uncommon, and for Christian believers, it is often seen as a sign that the spirit is transitioning into the presence of God. These moments can be deeply spiritual, providing reassurance that the person is not afraid, but instead feeling a sense of divine comfort. Isaiah 26:03 says, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you." This verse serves as a reminder that even as the physical body weakens, the spirit can remain at peace through faith. For Christian families witnessing their loved ones' decline, it is comforting to know that while the body is fading, the soul is preparing for eternity. Encouraging scripture readings, soft worship music, or simply holding their hand in silence can provide great comfort during this time. Breathing patterns also change during this period. In addition to sleeping more, many elderly individuals experience moments where their breathing slows down significantly, only to pick up again suddenly. This irregular breathing can be unsettling for family members, but it is a natural part of the body's preparation for its final stages. Sometimes their breathing may pause for several seconds before resuming, which can cause concern, but it is simply the body's way of adjusting as systems begin to shut down. Ensuring they are in a comfortable position, such as propped up with pillows, can help ease any discomfort they may feel from these breathing changes. One of the most noticeable emotional changes during this time is the shift from being actively engaged in life to becoming more introspective. Those in their final year often withdraw from social interactions, not because they no longer care, but because they do not have the energy to participate. They may not show the same excitement about upcoming events or family gatherings, and they may prefer to be in a quiet space rather than surrounded by activity. It is important for family members to recognize that this withdrawal is not personal, it is simply a part of the transition. Offering love, presence, and understanding without placing demands on them can make this stage more peaceful. Many elderly individuals in this stage also begin reflecting on their life, often speaking about past memories, people they have lost, and significant events that shaped them. This reflection is a natural way of coming to terms with the end of their journey. For Christian believers, this is also a time of deepening faith. Many express a readiness to go home to the Lord, a desire to make peace with any unresolved issues, or a longing to see loved ones in heaven. Revelation 21:04 gives hope in this transition, saying, "He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain, for the old order of things has passed away." These words serve as a powerful reminder that what awaits beyond this life is a place of peace, free from suffering. During this period of increased sleep and exhaustion, caregivers and family members should focus on providing reassurance rather than trying to change the process. Simple acts of love, holding their hand, sitting quietly beside them, or reading scripture, can bring a deep sense of comfort. The presence of loved ones means more than words at this stage, knowing that they are not alone, that they are surrounded by love, and that their journey is leading them to a place of eternal rest can ease any fears they may have. This stage of life is often filled with both sorrow and beauty. While it is painful to watch a loved one become weaker, it is also a sacred time where the spiritual and physical worlds seem to draw closer together. As their body rests more and their energy fades, their soul is preparing for something greater. Recognizing this as a natural part of life's cycle and embracing it with faith, love, and peace allows both the individual and their family to experience this transition with grace.